voice, your vision, your views. Views from the Six.
And hello and welcome. What up? We are back for our sixth and final show of season 1. Congratulations, ladies. We made it. We have made it.
We've made it
to the finish line of season 1. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you guys for retweeting and reposting and listening and sending feedback and checking us on our opinions. We like it. We love it all. We love it all. So thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Views from the Six. I'm your girl, DJ Angie Fizzle. East Cleveland in the building. Somebody say something.
East Cleveland, stand up.
All right.
Don't feel like standing up today.
We cannot.
I don't think they feel like standing up.
It's fine. It's fine. I know where my support comes from.
We know where you from.
Anyway, shout out to my ladies. Say what's up, ladies.
What up? This is Netress, a.k.a. Net, in the building.
Okay, this is your girl, Jay. Hey, y'all.
It's your girl, Monty, in the building. What's happening?
What up, y'all? It's Kiki.
So if you can't count, that's 5 people. And the show is called Views from the Six. So that means the last and final view that we appreciate so much, that we love, that we honor, that we just are so grateful for is you. That's right. You are our sixth and final member.
Yes.
So welcome. Give it up. So if you can hear that, that means we are coming to you live. From our sanctuary studio audience.
Yes, because holiness is still right.
Yes, it is.
Still right.
So if you haven't been able to listen to any of our shows, catch up. It's on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Google Play, and we are now on iHeartRadio. Yeah. So check us out. Y'all better check us out while it's free, because once we get blown up, I can't get no deals.
Funny. Y'all know we gonna act
No
funny.
coupons on the issue.
But real, we got the car karaoke.
We
challenge everybody to a car karaoke.
Car
karaoke.
That's how we first started out.
Hashtag Views Radio Show. Hashtag.
Man.
It's time for another one, I think.
It is.
It is. To close us out.
another one.
I think it's time for another one. So
That was fun.
hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let us know what you think. At Views Radio Show. Thank you. I always forget. At Views Radio Show. Let us know what you think about the show. What do you think about us? We don't take it personal. We like the feedback. Hit us up if you say my voice too manly, or you say Kia always snotting because she always crying about something. Just hit us up. Keep it real. Let us know. Right.
She's gonna say right.
Well,
Jay do be long with that.
Well,
I just be having
But we love
something
you.
to say.
We love.
It's like right now she got 10 paragraphs.
That's
She ready to get on her notes. She got 10 paragraphs.
Book. It's cute.
It is cute. They said let your plans be
You bought a
known
new
by
one just
God.
for today, then.
Absolutely, I did.
So nice.
$3.99 at Burlington.
Okay, yep. So hit us up. Let's run them hot topics. All right, so if you have been under a rock, as I always say, or just not been in tune with the news, Jay-Z is in the news.
Man.
Okay, so there are two
Let's talk about
sides to this controversial deal.
Let's talk about it.
So the deal itself is basically Jay-Z's Rock Nation has acquired rights to entertainment programming and the social justice initiatives for the NFL. So what that means is the Colin Kaepernick information or issue and the kneeling and the protesting, they are now going to be the marketing spokesman for that movement.
Okay.
So the two sides to this is the NFL failed to really speak on the issue
Right.
in a good way, in an effective way.
Right.
Most of the NFL players are African American.
Right.
And so a lot of them felt like that the NFL didn't handle the situation properly.
Right.
So now Jay-Z's company is taking on the job of, okay, now let's handle your social image.
Right.
Let us be your response to these issues.
Right.
On the second part of that,
He's getting backlash.
he's getting backlash,
For
but
what?
he will also do entertainment programming. So major NFL games, the halftime shows and things like that, commercials and promotions, things like that. His company, Rock Nation, will handle that. Okay, so here are the two issues. Some people are for this deal and some people are against it.
Of course.
People that are for it are saying, we can never make real change until we start working with the people that are the problems or the oppressor.
I agree. But
there are people who are saying that he is sold out, including Damon Dash, including Jermaine Dupri, who felt like he didn't even say anything to me about the deal. I don't know why he would even do it.
Well,
so you got a lot of high name people who are saying I'm totally against it.
Well, let's start with our guy Jermaine Dupri. There's rumors going around that he actually was offered
I heard about
a
that.
similar deal.
I heard
and
about
Jay-Z
that.
told him not to take the deal.
Shut up.
Yeah, I heard
So-
about that on Twitter. How factual?
Do
is
we
that?
really believe that though?
No.
So So Def is not as big as Rock Nation. Let's talk
Not at
about
all.
it.
No.
Not
Not
big
at
at all.
all.
So why would
No.
the NFL solicit a B-lister to handle such a massive problem?
Jermaine Dupri.
I mean, can we get to come on? Can we talk about it?
what y'all
Is Jermaine Dupri? Is he still relevant? He
He's
First lady said
You think so? Okay, we got audience. You say yes?
His net worth not that high.
That's what I'm
somebody
saying
said
though.
his
We
net
talking
worth not
dollars and
He
cents.
don't carry as much weight as
As Jay-Z.
Thank you. His name don't carry weight.
He just stepped back in the deal. He's high, but he one of those silent highs.
Okay. I could get with that. I could get with that.
He hustle quiet.
How do we feel about Jay-Z?
I think he didn't do all
the
them shade
deal.
on the female rap. I
Honestly,
ain't got nothing to say to him.
I mean, I think if you know Jay-Z's character, I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure it has nothing to do with being shady. I think his intentions are genuine, and I
Yes.
think that he has every intention to make the situation better. Like you said, work
Exactly.
with those that are a part of the NFL, maybe to change the dynamic of what's going on. So I think his intentions are genuine.
Do we think motivation was monetary also?
I do. He's a billionaire already.
I think that's always
Probably.
that always
believe
plays
so.
a
I
role.
believe so.
When you're making a business deal, you always looking at the money too.
Exactly.
But I think his
that was-
big
if we're
picture
gonna be
may have
logical
that
about
may
it.
have not been his initial.
Okay, so there's a
behind
clause.
it.
There's a B part to this.
Okay. Uh-oh.
He will acquire major ownership in an undisclosed NFL team.
Okay.
Oh, we got an audience member.
Yes, talk to me.
Where's
Here's
the
the mic right here.
There go the mic.
Okay, with that being said, a lot of people feel that Jay-Z is trying to get the ownership because, for one, that's the only way Kaepernick gonna get back in
I
the
agree.
game.
I like that.
agree.
point.
I like
Because
that.
if
I like
he
that point.
become
But
an owner, they can't tell him
That he can't hire him back.
not racism. The
Yeah.
white ones
Yeah.
that who he can't hire to
Right.
play that quarterback.
I like that.
He'll bring
I like that.
him in.
I like that too.
But he gonna play the odds against the ends because he gonna tell him he want him to be the quarterback. He gonna give him a year or two to see what he can do. But if he can't do what he said he was called
don't
to do,
deliver.
he gonna walk back out the door. So he win on both ends.
It's a win-win.
Okay, let me ask though. Let's ask.
I like that.
How do we feel if Kaepernick doesn't get a shot on Jay-Z's team?
Then
Now, what do we feel? First lady said confused.
confused.
How do we feel? Because let's be honest. At the end of the day, Jay-Z is a businessman.
He is.
At the end of
He
the
is
day.
a businessman. Him and his wife are business
They are
people.
Yeah.
But
And they move differently, and they don't
Yep.
move by emotion.
They don't.
Right.
So even though this is for justice reform, at the end of the day, there's a check attached to it.
Yeah. True.
So will we feel upset if Kaepernick does not get a shot?
I think I would.
You would?
You would. Sis?
Yeah, just because, you know what I'm saying, we counting on him to go in, and I mean that may not be high on his priority list, but I feel as though
Give him a chance.
yeah, I think he'll give him a chance though.
Well,
Do y'all think-
from my understanding, Kaepernick feels a way about it. He feels
You
a way
think
about
so?
the deal. Yeah.
Somebody
He does?
But you know
Yeah,
what?
he feels
They're
a way
not
about Jay-Z
friends.
taking the deal.
I mean, are
That's
they really?
interesting.
Yeah, that is.
It's a,
Talk to
audience
me.
member.
We
Yeah,
got it.
Kaepernick feels a way about Jay-Z taking the deal. Go ahead. audience
It wasn't that
not
Kaepernick
on.
felt a certain type of way. It was Eric. I
Yeah.
can't think of his last
Reed.
name.
Reed.
Eric Reed that felt a certain type of way. And so my issue is kind of bigger than that. I feel like as African Americans, but whatever you want to identify with, we can never take the stance of, well, let's see how it play out. We have to automatically say and justify the reasons as, oh, it was money behind it.
Right.
Everything we do is money. Us sitting in this room. I mean,
Come on.
so you cannot
Pay for this.
nobody telling me
Get
any
paid.
different. You want to
Yeah.
get paid for
Yeah.
the services that you provide.
Yeah.
Period. And so we can never just say, let's let it play out, and then let's make a decision
We always
about
want to
what.
jump
We
on
always
that
wanna jump
tag.
We
on
just want to attack each other.
Right. Right.
And that's one of the issues that we have, even though it's for justice reform. But can we just agree to just take a minute and see how things play out and then make a judgment from that?
That's a
If
good
we decide
perspective.
not to move forward with him or whatever,
We're not just gonna
let it
cancel
be.
him.
But just don't.
Just flat out and
If
right
you
off
see
the
other
bat.
cultures, they're very connected.
Yeah.
Come on.
And
Come
they're
on now.
together, but we can never just be together. Just can we be together
Can we
as
just be
one?
together?
That is my
Segue.
thing. And Damon Dash, and Damon Dash don't have nothing to say anyway.
I was gonna say that because you know he's just jealous.
I think he's
still bitter. He's still
He's
bitter.
got his feelings from
That's what I think.
1998.
Listen, get over it. He needs healing.
That's what I think.
What you say, First Lady? He need to get his healing.
He gotta get his healing. So we're gonna stay tuned.
Pray for Dane.
Pray for Dane. Hashtag pray for Dane.
Dane.
So we're gonna stay tuned and see how this pans out. But I think it's gonna get interesting in the next few weeks
for
once the
sure.
team
For
is
sure.
disclosed
For sure.
of who he'll have ownership with and all of that. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. So our next hot topic is a little old, but it's something I think
It goes with our topic.
It goes with our topic
Do
for
we announce
today.
our
I
topic?
think I don't know if we announced
We
it.
didn't our top announce it.
Okay, well, you'll get it after this. So check this out. If you guys remember, Jordan Woods was in the news a few months ago, and she had this little tryst with Tristan Thompson. So if we don't know who Jordan Woods is the BFF to Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner, of course, is a part of the Kardashian clan. She's one of the younger sisters, and she's kind of, living that Kardashian life. So Jordan Woods is the goddaughter of Will and Jada Smith. And Jordan and Kylie are BFFs for over 10 years. They were practically almost raised together. So one night after an evening of partying, Jordan and Tristan went back to his house with a bunch of friends.
I think the party was at his house.
The party,
Yeah, I think it was.
it was a club party, and then they moved the after party to his house. So the account is that people witnessed Jordan and Tristan kissing, and her providing a lap dance, and things getting very inappropriate. So if we understand this correctly, Tristan Thompson was involved with
Chloe.
OJ's daughter. Sorry,
Chloe.
She did not.
you cannot tell me she don't look like OJ. We'll get there.
shade.
No, we get there. We're gonna do DNA show.
Oh my goodness.
So basically, her BFF's sister's dude was a part of this allegation that they behaved inappropriately. According to Jordan, she went on Jada's Red Table Talk and cleared the air and said none of that happened. I was sitting on the arm of the couch. He was sitting down. My legs crossed his. And that was it. And when I went to leave the next morning at 6 a.m., when I was leaving out the door, our lips matched.
Matched. How do your lips match?
When you're trying to defend yourself, you use creative words. Our lips matched.
Our lips matched.
Same color.
And she said that same color. And she said that she was kind of taken aback by it, but she didn't think anything of it. And then
she didn't immediately
shortly
say
thereafter, the tabloids start going crazy. As a BFF, where did she go wrong, if at all?
She should have never been there.
Let's start there. I don't think she should have been there without her BFF.
Yes.
Okay, but I've been around you. I grew up with you. I know your spouse. I know your spouse. We hang out. It ain't no
Why are
problem.
your legs over his legs?
It slipped.
Okay.
It slipped.
Let's
my legs
rewind it
slipped.
back. I got a problem with her being taken aback the next morning at 6 a.m. when you had your legs draped over him. And I mean, so you didn't think
to leave right then and there
at that point, but your legs,
the
your legs was draped over him. Sis.
Right.
So were you really surprised about the kiss the
Maybe
next
she
morning?
tried to get up and slipped. These high-priced chairs.
Angela. Why wasn't her first? Why didn't the first thing she did was call her best friend and let her know, like, just before anything get out, you were not there by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There were people with you. Let me tell you what went down, because I want you to hear it from me before everybody
hears it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so let's flip this.
Oh Jesus. She's a devil.
You
husband.
are OJ's daughter. And y'all not gonna convince me otherwise. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with it all my
I'm gonna
life.
need you to address her by her name.
By her name.
I don't even remember.
Chloe.
I'm not a fan of the Kardashians. No disrespect. Anyway,
Khloe Kardashian.
Khloe Kardashian.
Okay.
You are Chloe. you get wind that your little sister's best friend that you've been around for over a decade
Who's
is
like
out
a
here
sister to you
wilding
also.
with your
Baby daddy.
15th time cheating baby daddy.
Baby
Let's
daddy.
throw that out
Let's
there
throw that out there.
because that is a factor.
That is a factor.
What is your response? Because we see what her response was. She dog walked this girl in the media.
She did.
She did.
She absolutely dog walked this girl. What is your response? What do you do?
Did she
Member
know all the
of
facts?
Christian Kings
Did she have all
Assembly
the
under.
facts?
Come on, money.
Did she go off of the media
I think she kind of went off. Well,
information, or did she?
I don't think she went off the media's information. The problem was friends of Kim Kardashian were also there, and so they called Kim with facts. So
I didn't
she
know
went
that.
off on facts. So
I didn't know
it
that.
wasn't no opinions or
Well,
the media. There were people there that saw and called Kim Kardashian and told her this is what we saw. So I think her reaction was a valid reaction, especially if, she also looked at Jordan.
I mean, but
like
did
a
she
little
go and
sister.
talk to her in private before she just
She
went straight
tried to.
on
She
media?
actually tried to talk to Jordan, and Jordan wouldn't return her call.
But it's the,
Oh, yeah, I do
but it's the
remember that. She
proper
did.
response to take it to social media.
No.
Is that the
No,
proper?
that's the problem.
That's
That's
part of the
not the
problem
problem.
with
That's
social
part of the
media
problem.
today.
Because she
is
dragged her, and
because-
she's still throwing shots, and it's been how long? She's still throwing shots.
And then when you say facts, he say, she say, to me, the story never comes out
accurate.
accurate. It's always
Right, it's
something
three sides to
added.
every story.
Like how many
Yeah.
girls
You know.
was at this party? How much?
Come on, let's wait a minute.
Say it.
Let's
Say it. Please say it.
Can we get
Because
the
I know
mic?
where you're going with the BFF. Come on, say it.
Come on, that's my BFF.
Chloe never holds Tristan accountable for anything.
She did
Anything.
She
That's
goes
my
after
issue
all the
with her.
women instead of coming
Yeah.
to him about stuff. Like if he's constantly cheating on you or whatever, that'd have been the first person I was mad at.
Well,
I would have been mad at Jordan too,
I agree.
because I feel like Jordan,
Yeah.
if something happened, you should have called me first.
I absolutely
Right.
agree.
Call my sister or something.
Exactly.
Before
But
you
I
start
also
hearing it from other
think
people.
you have to take into
Yes.
account the nature of their relationships.
Right.
Right.
Now,
That too.
although yes, Tristan was her daughter's dad. He had a history of cheating. However, her relationship with Jordan was a little different. You're like family to me,
Right.
So that betrayal
I mean,
probably stung a
Right.
little.
We see that.
Right.
We
I see
see
what you're
that.
saying.
But I just think social
Wrong
media
is
is never
wrong.
the place. It's never the place
not.
to
Oh, I
air
agree.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another
We got it
opinion
right
in the
behind you,
audience.
girl.
I
I
have
don't
something
think
to
it's
throw
on either.
out. What if, because this was a conversation, if it was a ploy, a media ploy based off of their family?
Yeah.
And could it have been something to, I'm not going to say boost ratings because they're the Kardashians, but could it have been a media ploy? But I do agree with it. Social media has taken a place on an ugly place that
Yeah.
you don't have to
I
air
agree.
out everything.
I
And I
agree.
think
Right.
that could have been done in private, but because of the nature of the family, everything is done over
It's
social
in
media.
private,
And
in public
everything
for
is
them.
done in
Yeah, they use
media.
everything.
I agree.
They're gonna get that money.
Yeah.
That's they're still, from what I understand, Kylie and Jordan are now on speaking terms. I saw snippets of the show, their reality show, where they're storming through
Well, Jordan's
Kylie's
out
house
here looking. she
and
looks
demanding
nice and
Jordan to
she's
get
out
her
here.
stuff out and making this big spectacle of things. So I don't know. I didn't personally like the attack on Jordan.
I didn't.
I
I
didn't.
didn't.
I didn't even.
We got a couple in the back.
opinions in the back.
All right, now two best friends. The young lady was over to her best friend's house. Now, was the friend was she there?
No.
So
She was
why
at
was she there
She was at the
anyway?
boyfriend's house.
Why was she there anyway?
That was my point.
They were
Because
partying together, I
as a
think.
man perspective, if I go over someone's house and they married, and I'm waiting on that individual, the
weren't
man,
married.
I would not go in that house until that man get there.
Right.
Regardless of what. So women live by different sets of rules. She should never went in that house if her friend
I
wasn't in there.
wholeheartely agree.
I agree.
She should have went
see
home
that.
from the
Even though they
club. She
wasn't
shouldn't
there.
even came to the after
Yeah,
party.
exactly.
She should have
Right.
went. My
So she
friend
put
not
herself
there.
in
I
that
don't need to be
situation.
there.
I wouldn't even feel
And
comfortable.
Tristan, that's his name.
Yeah.
He fell for the bait.
I
But
agree.
once again, we only gonna do what y'all allow us to do.
Whoa. Shots fired.
Wait,
Shots
wait a
are
minute.
fired. Call the man.
Okay.
And then my 9-year-old, my 10-year-old over there slapping hands with him.
Oh, he did it once. She let him get away with it.
You're
He
right.
did it twice. He did away with it. So now he said she set precedence. Oh, she ain't gonna do nothing to me.
Right.
But if she
Set the
put her
tone,
foot down when it first happened,
You're right.
it wouldn't happen again and again and again.
You're right.
Or maybe that's just how he is, and she should have been dumped him.
Wait a minute, but he stood up with the mic on y'all. Without the
I'm
mic.
just
He ain't
saying.
playing with y'all. Okay? Shout out to Deacon Sam. He's not playing with y'all today. Ladies, y'all better come with us, okay?
Set the
Hold on,
standards.
hold on.
Oh, Mama T got so. Hey, Mama
I
T.
just need some clarity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Were Tristan and the Kardashian young lady married? Are they
No,
married?
no.
They're just
Okay.
dating and have a child together.
So I'm going to take it from that vantage
just her
point.
baby daddy.
Because you have a child with someone doesn't mean you're in a relationship with someone. That relationship being man and woman, you have a child, you're not married. And unless boundaries are set beforehand about this relationship, then it's unspoken.
I got you.
That becomes unspoken. I want to say that first. And number two, I want to agree with the young lady that talked about media ploys.
Yes. Yes.
These people have to remain relevant.
You're right. Yeah.
And if they don't remain relevant, we would not be having this conversation right now. And their relevancy comes through social media.
Yes, ma'am.
So as long as we entertain
Yes.
social media and keep them relevant, other than that, they're unimportant.
You're right.
They're really unimportant.
You're right.
They were in a committed relationship, though. At the time, they were in a committed
working
relationship.
on trying to get back to that
What
place.
determines that
after
being a
14 times
committed
cheating.
relationship? How do we know that they were in or are in a committed relationship?
That's true.
Commitment is different to different people.
You're right.
That is
Now
true.
you talking.
You're right.
Now you talking.
That is true.
Now you talking.
That is true.
You ain't have to get aggressive with it.
Right.
She let us know. Auntie got one.
Your mother-in-law.
Go ahead, Auntie.
For the how y'all don't know or the media that she didn't set her up to do that to
Y'all
see
think so?
what he will play to see how faithful he will be.
An idea.
But I think
So
That's an idea.
why be so venom? Yeah, why all the venom at her?
Right.
I think she was totally caught off guard. By
Totally
that.
caught off guard.
I mean, why be caught
Right.
off guard? He done did it once or twice,
I agree.
and come on,
That's a good point.
she there, and she say, "I'm gonna be gone. Let me see what he can do with you. You like my sister to me." Hey, they
That's
always go
crazy.
for the bestie.
I mean, what had she got with
And that's the
Tristan
problem.
when he was with his baby mama in the first place?
Yeah, that was.
That's where it all started from.
They was caught behind the tree. That little plant.
Like they're kind somebody filmed them, and that's how it got all out.
Wow.
Now he big as I don't
So
know
sis
what.
wasn't caught off guard like she said she was that next morning.
Right, with the kiss.
Tyler got something over. There's the mic.
Oh. Apparently, Chloe was sending Jordan over there before to spy on him.
The plot thickens.
So,
Listen.
yeah. So that came out that like she would go over there like back when like when her and Kylie were friends, like she would go over there
Wow.
to pretend like, you know, like they were all
Wow.
just
I
going
didn't
over
know
there.
that. That's
But
crazy.
Chloe
Yeah.
was like sending her over there to let like to see like if he was like
Cheating,
messing around with anybody
yeah.
or anything like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
So it's like
Well,
back to,
welcome
like,
to
the
our
media
topic:
ploys. We
friendship
don't
do's
know.
and don'ts.
it's like
Wow. Right.
That's ridiculous.
wow.
This is very interesting. I
Very
think
interesting.
I think more is gonna come out, and I think a lot more is gonna happen. I'm gonna say this though. I like how Jada was like, come on this show and tell your
Yes,
side.
tell your truth.
I
love
like how
that.
they were like, she belonged to us.
Mm-hmm.
So you come on over here and you tell your side of the story and don't just get beat up in the media. We got your back. So
I like
But
that.
you know, she called Kris Jenner to let her know that she was going to be on the show, and Chloe
called her?
that's still a boss move. I'm about to
and
tell
that's what I
you
said.
what's going
That was my
down.
point.
Yeah, I'm a dog.
Jenner
I'm about
was
to
boss.
tell
Like,
you.
yeah,
She coming.
I'm
Say
about to let
something.
you know she's coming on my show.
See, I like that. Say something.
Get ready.
So,
Yeah, so get ready.
Do it. I dare you.
I love
Like,
Right.
we can talk about this all day, but
That's the topic.
we gonna keep in the.
That's our topic.
We gonna stay tuned for this. So our last topic. Our last hot topic. The ladies and I were talking, and we were just kind of throwing out shows that we remember that embodied real friendships.
Yeah.
Shows, TV shows, sitcoms that we watched. And
Living single.
so of course, all these people always is pro-black. They just
Living
gotta
single.
have all
A
the
different
black
world.
shows.
Those are my
Then back to
favorites.
good times.
Girlfriend.
They was all on good time. No, I'm just.
She wasn't saved by the bell.
She wasn't saved by
Dawson's Creek.
Let's keep in mind she's married to a.
Okay, listen. But here's the problem. If y'all
Reasons.
haven't noticed, all they care about is black folks on this panel. Okay, this is all they care about. I am the more.
You have to be. You have to stand corrected on that
I
one
was gonna
because
say, hold on, sis, because I'm the one that brought
you know I don't believe in that.
Dawson's Creek.
No,
to
but
you now.
honestly, my top 3 shows, I think that I loved the most, that I thought their friendship was like super, super dope. And y'all better not laugh.
We gonna laugh.
90210. What?
They was cheating with each other. They was cheating with each other's the best friends.
Crossing,
then.
backstabbing.
They was backstabbing.
It was
double
real.
crossing.
That zip code was off the hook.
90210.
Okay, I got my 3.
Dawson's Creek.
I know, I just said it.
We get a divorce. You half white. Why are we getting a divorce? I'm trying to rub you. Anyway, and I'm gonna say Martin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Martin. Martin, right? Thank you. Watch that list though.
So my
Watch that list.
no, my top 3 would be girlfriends, of course, because there's represented.
I love Girlfriends. That was the show.
Me and my sister said we
I love
don't.
Girlfriends.
Living single
That was mine.
Okay,
and friends.
What
about you, sis?
Well, my top 3 was A Different World.
Oh yeah.
I loved A Different World. A Different World. I'm gonna agree with you with Living Single, and I like Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, yeah.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Meredith and her best friend Christina.
Okay.
That was her person.
That was her person.
Yeah, so I like those 3. Those are my 3.
I like Friends a little bit, pretty good. But my top 3 would be Living Single. I liked Girlfriends, and I like Big Bang Theory.
Oh, I love Big Bang Theory.
Really?
I like Big Bang Theory.
That show.
What? That's awesome.
What did we
They're
miss?
hilarious.
What shows did we miss?
Kids still gotta go. Oh, kids still gotta go.
Seinfeld. What we miss?
Wait, Kid ain't go yet.
Good
I have the
Times?
same one.
Doggone.
No, not the
You
Good
don't
Times. I have
even
the
look
same
like you should know what Good Times is. Like you just graduated 5 minutes ago. Like on Good Times. Florida. Her name was Florida.
Yeah, they used to call it Flo. Florida.
Y'all remember College? Anybody remember College Hill?
College Hill.
I love that show.
That's your era.
Yeah.
Sis, who your top 3?
I was basically with y'all. I had
know it.
Girlfriends. I watched 90210 though. I did like 90210.
Are you watching the new one?
No.
I was all excited. She was like,
Yeah, that was back in the 90210. I was a fan, but Girlfriends, I would say,
For sure.
definitely, and Living Single.
Yeah,
those are my top 2.
One Tree Hill. Honorable mention.
oh yes. Nobody said Family
One
Matters.
Tree Hill was amazing.
What about Family Matters?
Right.
Facts of life.
I don't remember.
Did we miss any show?
Okay.
I didn't remember.
227 was a good one. 227.
But they gossip.
You ain't heard it from me.
But they gossip. That's not on that stupid.
What about Mr. Raven?
Talk to me, Auntie.
Telling my age. Wait, what? We aging our
Don't worry about
it, sis. You wasn't.
For your time, sis.
Oh, we got one in the back.
Golden Girl.
Because half of y'all like that mean old lady.
That's my dog.
How can we forget?
That was a good one.
And I watched the reruns.
Different strokes.
We said
Growing pains. Oh, I like Three's Company.
Maud.
What about Sister? They
But they didn't have friends. They was just, see, now y'all just naming black people shows.
This how they do. The Jeffersons. Who was that friend? Oh, they had Company. They lived upstairs.
Three's Company with Jack Tripper.
Three's Company.
I didn't watch that.
Who was Laverne and Shirley?
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that.
Those are good.
What about The Game? Anybody remember The Game?
I love Lucy.
I used to watch The Game, Jay. I watched that show.
The Game was good.
Tasha Mack.
Yeah.
The Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really centered around friendship, was it?
See, y'all just started naming black people.
They just started naming black people.
They became friends. It was a little dysfunctional and toxic, but they were friends. Showed you would not.
Man, I'll say what I'm talking about.
I know we got to put you get your shows in.
Right.
Y'all just name all these
It's
old
okay.
people shows.
We can name shows all day.
If you have a show suggestion, hit us up. Email us at viewsradioshow@gmail.com. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram. Hit us up on Twitter. Let us know your favorite show that's centered around true friendship. Amen.
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 The little rascals.
We gotta get them there,
Hey, it's your girl Monty in the building with your Viewlander of the day. And every episode we pick a Viewlander or choose a Viewlander, and that's somebody that we shout out and we celebrate
We
for
honor.
doing great things. We honor them. And with our show topic, I don't know if you kind of figured it out, it's centered around friendship. So we're gonna kind of get into friendship do's and don'ts, and but I kind of was thinking about like, who am I gonna shout out as a Viewlander for this show? And then I just said like, the first thing that came to my mind was, I am a friend of God.
Listen,
so I'm like, that's my best homie. So I'm just like, I'm gonna shout out the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings today.
Okay.
That's my friend.
right.
No shadow he won't light up about me. He's faithful.
Come on with the song lyrics.
He is not man that he should lie. He is silver and gold. He's not a fair weather friend. He ain't moody. He's constant. He's
not a liar.
consistent. He's not a liar. He got me every day, all day.
He do check you though. He do check you.
He will check you.
And he will.
That's a good friend. A friend
A good friend will check you.
gonna do.
And love.
And love. And love.
He don't switch up on you.
He don't say yesterday, today, and forever.
Come on now.
His intentions for me are good.
Yes,
So,
he knows
that's the
Yes,
best.
that's my good
Best
side.
friend. I'm very blessed that he has blessed me with positive people in my life that are not just friends, but even have become family.
Family.
So
That's right.
that's the blessing too, that he seeing you off. He a provider. He gonna put the right people in your life.
he
and
will.
you know, make every crooked way straight. So that's
All
why I
right,
shouted out today.
Shout
Man,
out.
go Jesus.
That's the
Y'all got a shout out?
You got a shout out?
Anybody want to shout out that?
I'm gonna shout out y'all.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna shout out y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all crazy. I'm gonna
I
shout
can't
y'all out.
start because they gonna shut me up once I start shouting.
Well, you know, sis.
Oh my goodness.
I really want to show people.
You got a lot of breath in your
got a lot
body,
of-
so it just.
But you know, listen, my auntie showed up, my best friend showed up. Shout out to Daisha and Ashley, Tyler. Like, come on now. That's love. So I want to shout y'all out. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
So since she did that, I have to shout out my sister who came. Shout out to my twin over here. Shout out to my twin over here.
I just want to let it be known that she thought you wasn't coming. I did. And she was
was
feeling
over
away.
here.
I
Right.
said, sis probably going to be late. That's what I told her. I said, sis probably going to be late. Right.
I would.
She was like, no, she coming. I said, she coming. Just
right on time.
I got you. I had your back.
We had no faith in you, because we did.
Shout out to all y'all sitting out here. Y'all look beautiful, and I thank y'all for coming.
Giving up y'all Saturday evening.
Shout
Could have been
out.
anywhere else.
So if you have a Viewlander suggestion that you guys want us to shout
know
out,
somebody who
hit
out
us
here.
up, man. Let us know. You know somebody out here that's doing it.
Doing
that
it.
don't get the accolades that they deserve. That are kind
Let
of
us know.
unsung heroes in your community, in your family. Those are the people that we want to spotlight because the recognition isn't always willfully given. So we gonna make sure that light get on them. We gonna force that light on them. So hit us up. Let us know if you got somebody to highlight, and we're gonna take care of it.
All right.
Oh, it's one right here. Just
I just want to shout out you young ladies. Just because this is awesome. This is my first time here, and I've listened to a couple of shows, and I've saw the videos on Instagram of you guys, and you don't see this.
You don't see this being done. People of God talking about real issues from a different standpoint, getting everydoing views. So this is original, this is a blessing, and this is great. So thank you all for doing this.
She's from East Cleveland too.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Since I just learned how to put on these lashes about 2 months ago.
I need mine to last through tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Y'all know my sisters, they on Operation Worship team. See, I can't sing. But you know what? They be out here right on in front every Sunday.
Praise God.
Praising God.
Y'all can keep us in your prayers.
That's it.
Right.
We transition.
That's all right. That's all right.
Bird's eye view.
Bird's eye view. This is the bird's eye view. This is the part of the show where we give you some facts and y'all hear birds talking? Okay, all right. So this is the part where we give you some facts. We get to the meat. We tell you what basically what the topic is of the show. Which this show is dedicated to friendship and the do's and don'ts. So, as I was doing research, I just felt it was just crazy because.
She never had that bike.
It was just crazy because every time I looked up something in regards to friendship, it talked about how important it is and how good it is for your health. So I was like, wow, okay. So it was an article on livescience.com, and it said from the day children first step out onto the playground, friendships are key. They are a key part of life. And then they did a polling. It was a Gallup polling data from 2004. 98% of Americans report to having at least one close friend. The average number of friends is 9. It is. But you know what? I did have a lot of friends, though. So I agree.
I can see that.
That's because
That was 2004. That might have
hard.
I had my cousins.
I did love hard.
family.
And that's part of the do's and don'ts of friendship.
Friendship, is that a do?
Is actually is that, you know, being loving. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about that.
No shade in the sanctuary. No, we said we was gonna behave today because we got guests. Bring it.
In love.
All right.
But so it says Americans reported an average of 10 friends apiece in 1990. According to the Gallup data, a slew of psychology students find that Americans have become more socially isolated over the decades.
For sure. Social
and
media.
so it's saying that that causes trouble. It also hurts your health too, being isolated.
I can see that.
So it said that, for example, a 2006 study on a number of friends people felt could discuss their important matters with. The numbers fell from an average to 2.94 in 1985 to 2.08 in 2004. So any amount of increase in our social isolation would be bad news, because friendships aren't just about fun. Right. So it's fellowship and emotional health. So having friends can improve physical health too. So I just thought that was very interesting because in all aspects, having somebody to talk to is therapy as well. So the isolation, it definitely can be bad for you to be isolated.
Why do we no longer value friendships as a necessity?
I think social media, and I think as we get older, it becomes so much harder to maintain friendships as adults
because of life.
Everybody's life looks different. You know what I mean? So I can speak for myself.
Okay, but Hattie Mae back in the day had the same issues that Auntie Linda had, and that you had lifelong friends.
But
social media, what is different?
But back in the day, Hattie Mae them was homemakers. They weren't necessarily.
They live up the street.
They lived up the street. They weren't, working and raising kids and taking kids to pick them up from the daycare. And
I think
they were
they were
at home, though. they were the daycare a lot of times, and
but standards and morals have changed.
I agree.
Loyalty has changed, and then I think social media has skewed the true definition of what a friend is, because everybody on Facebook that you click on as a friend ain't your friend. So you redefine what friendship is.
But I think the problem is people are soft nowadays. I hate to say it. People are
hypersensitive.
Yeah, I'm coming back for you. I ain't forgot.
I got you.
I believe true friendship, and I'll never forget this. There's a guy named Terrence. He's a coach. He's a boxing coach here, and he has prize fighters all across the nation. And they go. He said, in my worst moment, I had real friends that were courageous enough to tell me the truth. Brave enough to stand flat-footed and say, you wrong. And I think a lot of times friendships aren't able to withstand that because we are super sensitive and needing to be right and not willing to be checked.
Well, I don't agree with being soft.
Of course you would.
I don't agree with being soft because I can check you and you call me soft, but I can still check you. It doesn't mean that I'm soft. But because I can check you, I can check you in love.
This coming from somebody who told the praise team to shut up. So
you was having a ministry meeting and
you ain't know where sauce is. But you know what? I think it comes to also a level of maturity and being able to handle the truth coming from a friend, because I've been blessed to have friends in my life and sisters that tell me the truth, and we're up here now and we jailing, but it hasn't. It took us a minute. Listen. So it took us years to get here, and
overnight retreats,
overnight retreats, powwows.
First lady left us. Listen, first lady.
But it took a lot of that to, a lot of powwows and a lot of, and not just that, but real self-examination and real moments to understand that, wait a minute, I understand that her heart is not against me. This is my sister.
That's the key thing, though.
And really understanding that she means well. And, and it may, I'm one of those people, you can't really talk real soft to me because I'll be like, you gotta be firm. You gotta be firm with me, because you come at me like, well,
but that's knowing your friendship. That's knowing the person. That's knowing, like, I have to come differently with each of you all in order to get through. Like,
I think your delivery is most important as well. Like your delivery, your tone, and if your heart is in the right place when you try to correct someone, you know what I mean. If you're doing it very critically, you're doing to be, and you're in, and I have some notes on that, like accountability in friendships. That's all right.
You got some good stuff.
Yeah, that's all right. But I think there's always a way of doing things, and there's always a way of approaching your friendships. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you really have to check your own heart when you're going to check your friend. You know what I mean? I've had to catch myself. Let me go check my heart, because right now I'm being real nasty.
You got some, Ree? Are you Ree? You got some? Are you stretching? Okay,
we got one over here.
Oh, we got one over here too.
Where's the mic?
Where the mic at?
Who got the mic?
Oh,
Mama T.
well, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I have a friend that dates all the way back to grade school. And we don't have to talk every other day. We don't have to see one another.
But you could pick up. Like,
but when we do, it's as if we have not missed a beat. She's my friend. And I know I can go to her in any situation at any time. And I have 3 other very close friends. But there's only one of the 3 that I can tell anything to. I can share anything. The other 2, only because I was trained, only because their perspectives are more limited because of their religious beliefs.
Okay. But see, you know that about your friends.
That's good. Okay. Yes. Okay. So along that lines and with Jayana, I saw this post that said, "Never trust your tongue when your heart is bitter or broken. Hush until you're healed." So, do we label people as friends too quick?
Yes, because
we say yes.
I think yes, because sometimes people are sent in your life as an assignment and you make them your friend. So we label people No, seriously. Sometimes, and that has been my reality. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting here because we hear all this talk about relationship breakups. They got books, they got podcasts, they got.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. They got conferences about breakups, but we don't. There's no talk about friendship breakups.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I'm
that's
sitting
a
here
real thing.
mourning a friendship
Right.
that shouldn't have been a friendship in the first place. That person was sent to be an assignment to me.
Now I got a question. Do you think that there is a difference between Christian friendships and friendships outside of the faith?
Yes, I think there's a friend. You have a lot of different friends.
We got a comment.
We got a couple
Associates
comments.
and friends. You have to.
Where the mic at? First lady got something, and then the young lady back there got something.
You know what? I love my mother-in-law. She's so full of wisdom. But she's right. So I have a friend. We've been friends. I have two friends. We've been friends ever since I was 13. So that was a very, very long time. But I have always said that the friendship has
First lady, you need the mic so that you could be heard on the show.
On the
It's not even working.
It is working.
It's
recording.
It's recording.
Oh, amen. So the friendship, okay, so we've been friends ever since we was 13 too, but they're now my sisters now because we have went through so
much together.
many instances where they're no longer, I can't even call them friends. If you was to say that was my friend, I would get offended. That's my sister. In my mind, in my heart, that's my sister. And then I have friends where, like she said, it's like they can't handle everything. They're friends on different levels. Like I can't tell them everything. I can't tell them my deep dark because they can't handle all of that. So with that being said, that I guess our we have friendships on different levels, different types of friends,
and that's okay.
You
I've
know?
learned to be okay with that.
Yeah, more comments.
More comments in the back.
I agree with First Lady. When you come into a relationship and you are a Christian and you're dealing with non-believers or you're dealing with people who say that they are believers of the faith, but yet their trajectory is different than yours, you have different perspectives, you have different interpretations. So therefore, there brings different understandings. And when you have different understandings, things can be skewed on so many different levels. And as Christians, as believers in Christ, we are supposed to the best of our ability, like Jesus did when he walked the earth, be all things to all men. So we come into relationships and we try to accept them as they are without casting judgment. But then a lot of times what happens is that we're being judged.
True. That's so true.
And so then it goes back to something that we said on our Tuesday night Bible study is how, a lot of times people, they will not accept you for who you are as the person that you've changed into, the transformation that took place in your life. They don't have a clue how long it took for you to get where you are.
That's good.
So then when you come together, it's like you're unequally yoked.
True.
They don't know who you are.
And so the
Yes.
Bible is clear, the word is clear about
Yes, it
being
is.
in relationships where you're unequally yoked. And so there's a separation there.
Yeah.
But because we're being loving and because we're being, who we're supposed to be exhibiting the fruits of the Spirit with meekness, long suffering, patience,
Gentleness.
those are the things that we're supposed to do, but it's not always reciprocated.
Agreed.
I agree.
That's good.
I believe you have to come into any relationship just as that. It's a relationship. No matter if it's a friendship, if it's an intimate relationship with a significant other, if it's a parental relationship, it's a relationship. So in going into that relationship, you have to discuss those boundaries.
Yes.
Even
That's
even as an adult, you have when you learn the words to speak, and always try to come from a place of love. If you can't come from a place of love, then just get off the phone. I'll come back to you when I'm able to talk and in a space to talk. I think there's a respectful way to say in any relationship. You know what? Right now is just not a good time. It doesn't matter what relationship it is, because we always have to remember. Let's treat each other with love. Come with love. You can't do that, then it doesn't mean that relationship has to end, or it's just different. So you have a different relationship with this person, and you have a different relationship with that person, and that's okay.
That is
Going
okay.
back to something that you guys had mentioned earlier, when it's like, why are they like this, or I forget how it was worded. I can just remember just thinking about the fact that you have people for a season. You have to acknowledge that. You do mourn it because it's a relationship. You feel some type of intimacy with that person. And I'm not just talking about romantic. In a friendship, there's intimacy.
There's grief.
That's right.
And so that's okay. But we have to understand it's okay. It's okay if you're busy. It's okay because life happens. Those things are okay. It's a point of respect. And somebody had mentioned that earlier. No matter when we meet, it's still love. I don't care if I haven't seen you in 10 years. It's still love because you are my friend. I don't have to think about, oh, well, I ain't talked to you in so long, but we get hung up on that. But I saw you posting on social media. It's like, come on. Those are things that we have to think at the end of the day. You're my friend. If that's your friend, that's your friend.
Okay, but can I be honest? Y'all sound so sweet. Can I just keep it real? Get the mic. You know that's my sister. So I understand everything that was said, and really piggybacking off what you said. You know, if you're upset, get off the phone. But my real friend gonna understand I'm either mad, I'm hurt, we might fuss, we might argue, I may not call you for a while. That's my real friend. And I'm speaking from experience. I have had a friend who I've been friends with for over 20 something years. And we fell out for a season. But at the end of the day, she picked up the phone. We fell out twice. She picked up the phone.
Not once, but twice.
I picked up the phone, and we didn't miss a beat. That's my real friend.
That's how it should be.
That is my true
But
friend.
that's that love.
It's
That's
not
that love.
peaches and cream, roses, la. No, we gonna go at each other from time to time. But at the end of the day, you call me, I'm there.
Yes, that's right.
That's a true friend.
That's a true friend.
And for my definition, that's a true friend.
That's a true friend.
Could we talk about healthy, like if some things
How do you, and I was going to ask that, how do you know if someone really is your
if that's
friend?
a healthy relationship and if it's a true friend?
I have some questions that I got from Therapy for Women. It says, is your friendship healthy? The first question is, how do I feel before, during, or after spending time with them?
Oh, that's good.
Are you drained?
Are you drained?
Are you feel?
good.
You know what I mean?
That is good.
The second question is, if I knew everything about this friend that I know now, would I pick this person to be my friend?
Oh.
The third one is, have I set boundaries and used my voice? If so, do they respect my boundaries? How do they respond when I say no?
How do they respond
when I say no? The other one is, do I trust this person? Can you trust this friend? Do we do things that you enjoy, or is it always what she want to do, what they want to do? Are they
willing to compromise?
Willing to compromise?
Yeah, that's good.
Do you have other friends, or is this the only person that you dump everything on? Because sometimes we do that. And then the last one is, do I feel like the friendship is one-sided? I've had some one-sided relationships.
Well, here's my question: how are you as a friend? And I don't mean you, but I mean, I've had to ask myself that question. And if you ask me, I'll probably say I'm a terrible friend, not because I don't love my friends, but I'm very introverted. And I've recently accepted that that's a selfish thing. I'm selfish with my time, and that's selfish. That's not fair to my friends.
It's not.
And so, yes, it's not. It's working on me. But I had to realize, and I thought that I was doing what was best for myself. I'm like, if you my friend, you should understand that. You've been like, I have, like you.
You
I
had
have
a
friends
Facebook post about it? I was like...
Listen, I've had the same friends and my circle is real small, but I've had the same friends for almost 30 years.
Right.
And my attitude was, you my friend, you already know I'm an introvert. You've been knowing me. Y'all know how I get, but that's selfish. Because I'm selfish with my time, and I'm only thinking of myself and not how some of my friends' love language is quality time. And so I have to start looking at that.
And I was just going to say that, like, we talking all sweet and cute, but... I don't like it when my friends are missing. I have a problem with that. I don't know if it's me having a separation anxiety or
I think I deal with
when
that too.
you don't respond to me, I don't like it.
Right. Just let me know something. Acknowledge that.
And I'm not just talking about just one time. I'm talking about I call you Tuesday, you don't answer. I at you on GroupMe, you don't respond on Thursday. On
She talk about
Saturday,
us. She
I
talk
send a
about us.
text message, you still don't respond. But I saw you posting on social media. I'm livid. You about to get this work. Like,
just call our
you
name
can't
out,
respond
sis.
to me.
Just
We
call
got
our name
beef.
out, sis. Just call
We
our
got
name
beef.
out on the radio show.
We got beef.
Just call our name
I
out,
have a
sis.
friend
We got beef.
in the audience that's like that.
Somebody in the audience like that?
So she ain't gonna put him out there like that.
But
put her
look
out there
though,
like that.
we'll go 4 or 5. I actually got 2 on each side. Like I wouldn't like.
You ain't
But
putting
look
them up
though.
right here.
Put him
Right
out.
here.
Just-
Right
You
here.
supposed to just enjoy.
But it's
This one
okay
right here.
though because if I
Tyler,
pick up the
this
phone,
one.
we don't miss a beat.
Right.
We don't miss a beat. Like they're sitting in this audience, and one of them I ain't talked to in months. You see what I'm
Wow.
saying? So it's like they
That's
show up
friendship.
for you.
They show up.
You see what
That's
I'm saying?
awesome.
It's like we can. For
Shout out to
me,
y'all girls.
for me, I just want to know, like, honestly, like, nobody's obligated to give you their time. You see what I'm saying? But acknowledge if I take the time out of my day to check in on you. You
And
doing
that's
okay?
part of being a friend,
That's
though.
part of
Yeah.
being
Is
a
that
friend.
time, though.
Is that time. If I check in on you, just acknowledge that. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what? She busy. She got all this stuff going on, but she wants to see what my well-being is like.
And then
I
that
think
made up a good point about love language.
Yeah.
that too.
Yes.
Knowing your friend and having that relationship,
important.
Yeah.
you can kind of read them and you know what their love language is. So that like one person might be quality time, one person might be words of affirmation, just to hear
Yeah.
your voice
Yeah.
or shoot a nice text, encouraging text or something like that. That might be enough to just make their week.
Right.
And then-
Versus
right,
another
right.
friend might need to see you.
Right.
You know? So it's
Right.
just, it
Physical
just
touch, like,
depends.
girl, I need a hug.
We got a comment over here.
But I still
Mike.
do believe that in a friendship, though, the worst response is no response.
It's
If
no
you're
response.
a
Yes.
friend,
Yeah.
that is the
Yes.
worst response.
Don't be silent.
Hit me
I'll
with an
pull up.
emoji or something.
Right,
Something.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up. Right. Yeah, I know where you live, where you work.
I just wanted to piggyback off of the time factor. Time is the most valuable thing that we have because we can't get it back.
You're right.
So whether we are valuing that time for self-care, that's okay. And as a real friend, that should be understood.
If it's
Because we
communicated.
all need,
That's where I'm at with it.
Because
If it's communicated.
if it's communicated, absolutely.
I was bad at that. I
Because
just
it's
shut down.
definitely something that's is necessary to take care of yourself as well, and then also have a balance,
A balance.
so that
That's-
you're
yeah.
balancing your time for
Right.
self as well as for
Yeah.
those whom you really care
Sometimes
for.
it takes
Balance.
people time to
So
do that.
that balance
Balance.
is the most important key, I think, when we're talking about relationships in general.
Right.
I think here's where I'm at. I'm sorry.
That was
I know, here I am again. I feel like we have grown to be too selfish and stingy with our time. And I feel like
Some people are just
say my
needy,
name,
though.
we are.
Some people are just
Just say my
needy.
name.
We are
Say my name.
so excited about this new wave of self-care.
Self-care.
When if we are saved, if we go according to this word, we are a body jointly fit together. The arm can't detach from the toe and say, time out, I need a break.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. So I understand that we need this, this, you feel it. I understand that we need these times to kind of regroup and get ourselves together.
That's
I get
why
that.
boundaries are
I
good
get
and
that. I
healthy for
totally get that.
relationships.
But let's not always lean to that to say, "Oh, I need my me time."
And I was gonna say I ain't gonna even
But
lie. I'm gonna tell the
balance.
truth
We go
in
back to
church in
balance.
the house of the
It's
Lord.
two
Yeah, but what
Yeah,
is
that's
but
everything.
let's think about this though. We already know that the end times are coming.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get to go to the park and hang out when the Antichrist is out here roaming and looming and looking for home churches to devour. We're not gonna get that time.
And I
In
use-
heaven, you can't go to your mansion and close your door.
Well, I might be
It
answering
don't
for a
work
few
like
minutes.
that. The Lord's gonna come on out. We got worship going on, man. Come on out. It's not happening. So why do we feel like we matter more than the community? That's what this boils down to.
We got
Selfishness.
Yes, and being
We
selfless, though.
independently feel like we matter more than the community. And I ain't about it. Come give me some.
Okay, go ahead,
Come on,
Deacon
Deacon
Sam.
Sam. Come give me some.
Right here.
Bring it.
Bring it, D.
Bring it.
Look, he stood up slow.
Friends. Y'all talking about friends, right? Y'all talking about friends. Friends. First of all, you got to distinguish the word friend and
Amen.
God is my friend. I learned that here. But this is my best friend.
Okay.
And then now you, my wife is my best friend, but associate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, friend, when you go through something, no matter what you go through, they're gonna be there. They're not gonna judge you. Associates, the ones that fall off the wagon when you do something.
Yep.
So you gotta. Everybody ain't your friend.
You're right. True. Okay, that's good.
I mean, God and my wife, and I got a group of friends here that I just got to know. But when I was going through something, all my friends like disappeared.
Wow.
And one day I see myself at the church just deleting people's number.
Wow.
And then when they called me, I'm like, who is this? I said, who is this? Like, you lost my number. I just deleted your number. What you mean? You are not going where I'm going. My tongue is getting me in trouble.
Check it twice.
But that's y'all got to know the definition between friend.
We got Tyler over there.
It was
Reed.
It was
Sebastian and Reed.
Yeah, Sebastian and Reed.
And then Tyler.
Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hi.
I've been waiting on this mic for a mighty long time.
Say what you got to say.
But in today, we fail to realize that having different friendships, we got to have a relationship. And we got to start building it because, and then you think about it, because I have some friends from first grade, kindergarten, you know, we cool, we friends, we fall out, we come back together.
Right.
But as I've been learning, as I've been growing myself is, if I shy away from God, to stop being a friend to him, of course I'm stop being a friend to them.
You're right.
So if I'm not true with myself, I can't be a good friend. And that's what we do. We take out, we have taken out the relationship part and a love part and actual friendship where it used to be to now it's all about us and when we have time for something. And we have to keep it and give it back to like our relationship. How is it with God? If it's not right with God, it ain't gonna be right with nobody else.
True. Come on now.
So our
That's good,
expectations are fair.
Sebastian.
No, Sebastian.
Go ahead, Sebastian.
Go ahead. You're right there.
Going back to what Deacon Sam was saying when he said that he was going through something and he felt as if all his friends dissipated, I feel as if sometimes that as friends we have the wrong job title. And so when I immediately thought of grief and losing someone, and so my father got sick, and then I felt like I had no one to turn to, right? And so when I went out and reached out to those friends, and I said, you know, why weren't you there when I was, you know, in that turmoil? A lot of them said, because I didn't know how to fix it.
Right. That's good.
Yep.
Okay.
And that really baffled me because I was like, you're my friend. You don't have to fix anything, you know? And so I think that really, if we don't have a proper understanding of who we are and as friends, that we're not here to fix everything and we don't have the solutions to everything. But if we offer a testimony, or if we just read scripture personally, that for me is super encouraging, you know? So I think we really need to reevaluate our job titles as friends.
Right.
You know?
I also think that just simply asking your friend, how can I best support you in this situation? They know the best way that I can. Sometimes it's like, girl, I don't need your advice. All I need you to just come sit right next to me. You know what I mean? Or sometimes I need some encouragement. Sometimes I need you to break open the Bible with me and let's, you know, there's different things.
I was about to say, whoa.
All right, Jack. We at the church house. Just.
I didn't say this.
Kia said we here with the bottle.
I'm just, y'all know I love my wine. And sometimes I may need that. But I think the best thing you can do for me.
Almost killed me. Never mind.
You won't even drink no wine. The best thing you can do for me is ask, how can I best support you? Because then I can be vocal. And tell you. But you can also about what I need. But you can also tell me if you can or you cannot do that. That way I can't be mad at you for not supporting me. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Go ahead, Tyler.
All of the things that Jayana mentioned on the list initially were all things that supports a toxic relationship. If you have all of those factors, those are all key indicators that if you're dealing with these kind of things with a person in general, that's toxic. So again, when the gentleman was talking about, George was talking about, you know, being able to identify what friendship really is to you. that's really the bottom line.
Yeah.
Right.
Because what a friend means to me might not be what a friend means to
And
me.
that needs to be a conversation.
And that's a true conversation. And then again, that's where the boundaries come in. And when I was mentioning self-care before, it's not necessarily, I think, how you may perceive the word that I use with self-care. Because, like, for instance, just for myself, for example, you know, I've been in a master's program, which is, you know, pretty intense. And so that means there's really no downtime. And when you do get downtime, you gotta come up for air, you know, and then you're right back in it again because it's, you know, one of those accelerated type of programs. So a lot of times, you know, there's not a lot of time to get out and be, you know, involved in a lot of group settings like this, for instance, because you're constantly on the grind. So when you have a goal in mind and you're focused and you're goal oriented and you're trying to get to that finish line, your friends, your true friends, or any relationship that you have who's aware of what you're dealing with or what you're going through, they should show that support for you. How can I be there for you? Do you need any help? You know, can I bring you something to eat? It's a mutual understanding.
And then I think it's important to know where you fit on your friend's priority list.
That's good.
I think because if I'm having you here and I'm always prioritizing my time for you, but you got me over here, maybe I need to reevaluate. So I think we should check ourselves with that too. Kid didn't try to.
True, and being goal oriented, you know, I'm there as well, but there's still time to communicate. And you don't necessarily have to be in my face. But you still have time to communicate. So
I agree.
You know.
So two things. Like when you guys had talked about being like alone and being isolated, like when we read the Bible, Jesus often went off by himself. Like not saying that you constantly need to be alone, but that time is definitely
there's a season. You definitely need that time.
If you don't, your judgment will start to become clouded because you got this person telling you this, you got that person telling you one thing, and then like I've been experiencing like God allowing my friends to let me down, for him to remind me you are putting too much hope in people, and it's not necessarily like, oh, like I'm mad at you. I had this huge event I planned, and she was the only one who showed up. And I got so angry. I'm like, all these people, like, nobody showed up, and God is just like, because you're putting too much hope in people. Like, your hope literally only needs to be in me. Of course, like, you have friends and you trust them, you love them. But you can't, like, you have to watch how much trust and hope you put into a human who is in flesh. That's like good. You. It can get dangerous.
That's true. And that piggybacks off what Ree said. I mean, once you get that relationship with God, God and His Word, it always helps you to reel back and focus, because you're never supposed to put all your faith in man anyway.
And there's a difference between separation for the Lord and separation for selfishness. There's a total, complete difference. And I think, you know, I still stick by it. We don't set a precedence for community. You know, we kind of, and that's our environment now. That's our society now, where it's about me. Like, we got a hashtag me too. Like, you know, it's
we've gotten away from community.
I do respect, you know, there being some time for you. Listen, I got 5 kids. I just went back to get my bachelor's degree. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I am a full-time business owner. I work ministry. So I totally understand. There are times where you wake up like, what are you doing, Jesus, with my life? This ain't it. I totally get that. But at the drop of a hat, if I feel in my spirit that my sister need me, I'm there. Or if it's one of those, wait a minute, something ain't right. She off today. Let me take time. This design can come back later. You know, I think we have to set the standard of course God comes first, but allowing Him to lead us to make sure that other people come before us.
True. I mean, that's the very thing.
If we gonna rock this Christ thing, we gotta remember though, He put people before Him.
Yes.
You know, in the most inconveniencing times. Even to the point where He was like, I don't even want this cup. Can I?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I think that it all goes with how someone balance, because I'm still learning that. You know what I mean? I'm still learning how to balance. I'm still learning my time management. I'm still learning how to prioritize prioritize things. So it all depends on their where they're at when it comes to that. You know what I mean? So
it's a process.
It is a process.
It is.
And you're ever evolving. So
that's it.
You know, as you grow, you continue to improve and make progress in those areas. And I believe that sometimes you may be selfish with your time, but I don't think it's all the time intentional.
Right.
I think people just sometimes want a breather. They want to just breathe. And then because, you know, the daily hustle and bustle of life, I mean, it's just not enough hours in a day, but you do what you can in the time that you have.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's a good point and all, and that sound good, you know. But if you don't communicate with someone and let them know what's going on with you, whether you need a breather, whether you need a break, whether school is hard, work was hard, you don't want, and you know this person is reaching out to you and you don't say anything, that causes the ill feelings, that causes the breakdown in a relationship, that causes harm and damage that you didn't intentionally need to do, but it happened. So you have to, we have to communicate with people, because even in putting someone before us, if you don't communicate that, they don't know. They don't know where they fall in your friendship line. They don't know where they fall in your relationship line. You don't know where the boundaries are because y'all never had a conversation.
So what do you do?
Or a step to establish a relationship.
What do you do when your friend has trouble communicating? Like, she knows that she's a terrible communicator. So, what do you do in that point when you're reaching out, and this person is, yeah.
I hate the labels. I'm in the question.
Go ahead.
So, you know how they is. You know me.
Yeah. You know how I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some wrong.
I shouldn't have to accept that to a little, a degree.
Right.
You know how I am, or that's just
it doesn't
me.
make it okay.
That's a character flaw.
No, no.
It is a huge character flaw, and that was actually my problem. That was my flaw.
So that is something you need to work on. If you
absolutely.
don't stay in that. You know how I can't communicate.
It was
But
selfish.
you ain't
It was that.
Don't selfish.
Don't speak that though.
Can we talk about holding?
I want to say to them, when you do this,
It makes me feel this way.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm sorry. If you continue to do X, then this is where we're going to be.
Yeah.
Make it plain.
Right.
You don't have to sugarcoat anything or hold your tongue.
Right.
No,
that's
because
If
as a
they-
friend, that's
you
how
don't
it
have to
should
curse
be.
them
You should
out
be able
either,
to be.
but make it plain.
Right. One thing that I have something that I wrote that I wanted to share about accountability with friendships is I feel when you're holding someone accountable for their actions and behaviors, the goal is to produce some sort of change. The person has to, at some level, agree with the values and beliefs that you're holding them accountable to.
True.
So I feel as though
they gotta buy into it.
They gotta buy into it. I feel as though if we are disagreeing on the values and beliefs of this friendship, and I'm trying to hold you accountable to something that you don't believe in, so I think that's important too, because a lot of times we're quick to just, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I'm doing this out of love. I want to hold you accountable. And she said, who even said I believed in that?
Right.
You know
Who
what I
said
mean?
that mattered to me?
To matter to me. So I think it's important to have, have friendships that you do, share the same values and beliefs in. Y'all ain't gotta agree on everything, and it don't have to be shared opinions, but share value and beliefs. So when I do hold you accountable, it's, what?
Okay, I like to throw
Our
that.
devil's advocate here.
I never liked that phrase. I always like opposing
views.
Whatever.
Can these stipulations apply to a male-female relationship? And I'm talking about friendship. Do these same stipulations apply to opposite gender?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it should.
Communication, boundaries,
If it's a friendship, boundaries, expectations. Absolutely.
I'm glad y'all said that. So,
oh Lord.
What happens if one has a significant other and the other doesn't? Now, we can go with me and my BFF. He right there. We're not married, hypothetically. He gets a girl. Does that change our relationship dynamic?
There's different boundaries.
I think that it does. I think that it does because there should be boundaries.
Talk to me, Reek. Tyler first. What's going on?
So I'm married and I have a male best friend, and like my husband knew that like before we got married. So it was more so like I could talk to my best friend like whenever, like it can be.
Is your
12
best
o'clock
friend
in the morning.
married?
No, he's not married. He's single. But the boundaries that my husband set is, can't be calling like all late. It shouldn't be like constant, like you calling my wife whenever you want.
Yeah. Is it your husband set those boundaries, or you and your friend set those boundaries?
No, my husband. And then I told my friend, of course. So he respects. He's like, yeah, like you're married. He respects you. It's certain things you just can't do now that you are married. Like it's just you have to respect your husband.
Right.
So
right.
I think it can happen. Like it just depends on the two people.
So I have a question for you. Husband says, you know what, this ain't working for me. BFF gotta go. Now what?
That's not fair.
Let's hear Tyler answer.
It's not fair.
Because this has been a BFF for how long?
For years, like since high school.
Yeah.
So
and you
it's
probably
been
just graduated. So
Don't
wait.
like
5 minutes ago.
I've been in school for a while.
Okay. I've been out of high school for 6 years.
So what do you do?
Pretty much. I can't answer because like I don't see my husband like saying something like that because he's not that kind of person. Like because he knows like I'm gonna respect you, and then it's like he's gonna respect you as well because like him and my husband are really cool. So it's like I don't really know.
I need to know this. What are you doing? Husband says, okay, let's check out.
I mean, of course you gotta do what your husband says because that's your husband.
Okay,
but is he being irrational?
I need to hear from my EC people. What we doing?
Well,
that's different. EC that's here we go with this.
What we doing?
Hardness.
Are we ditching BFF or what we doing?
In a situation, I had a similar situation, and I brought it when I was married. I brought it, up front. We knew who was what, and everything. But the thing is, everybody need to meet each other. At some time, everybody need to cordially come together, meet each other, because all those boundaries need to be set. First of all that alone time, special alone time, some of that stuff that has to cut out.
Your friends are my friends.
Right.
Get into a marriage.
If you can't change the way you act. A lot of them sometimes change the way they act, and I had it to where my spouse had a female friend, and that friend, when a person changed. Like when I come around, don't change. Be the same person that you are. When you begin to change, that's what makes everything go sour. But you shouldn't have to give up no friends. It's a trust issue.
Okay, you shouldn't unless the friend was disrespectful. Then that's a different story. But
so old friends are okay. New friends.
No friends.
But we go to church together and we just click. We cool.
I think it all goes back to what we said earlier: communication. And you said boundaries. To answer your question about if it was a spouse, and he or she said, you got to get rid of the friend. I think there's a conversation that needs to be had. What is bothering you about this that is causing these feelings? Because maybe what you see may not be true, but you still want to respect what was said.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that friendship necessarily has to end, but there may be some boundaries that person may not be established.
Yeah.
So it's causing maybe some type of friction that you don't know about. New friends, I don't know. Guys are must like, nah, no new friends. But I think like women, we're just like, we want to talk. We're social, some of us, and so we can get into calling someone friend very quickly.
Yeah, too quick.
And that may not be the whole situation. This is somebody that I enjoy talking to and be in a relationship with, but that may not be my friend. Right. So it goes back to what the other gentleman was saying. Be careful how you label people as friends.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
Thanks.
Okay.
This is gonna be broadcast somewhere. I don't want to say too much. Okay.
Spill the tea. Yes.
Spill the tea, Sarah. On air.
We will keep you anonymous.
Okay, so my best friend, we've been best friends for about 12 years now. And back in high school, I don't want to minimize the relationship, but it was like a cute little relationship that he had. she and I were friends, but I would say the straw that broke the camel's back, he had an allergic reaction one night. And he was allergic to shellfish. She was asleep. He called me first. They were in the same room, but he called me. So when everything, came to light, she was like, why would you call her first?
Right.
I'm right here. So it ended up being like me or her. He chose me. So she was just like, let's fight.
Wow.
Take it to
Were
the
there
street.
any romantic feelings between
None
you
at
and
all.
him?
None.
I think it was just because that was his very first relationship.
So he didn't know.
He didn't know.
Right.
He didn't know, and then because we were cool for so long, I think it was just like a.
Is this
He
right?
called his
like,
homie. He called his homie like, I need help.
My mom and his, we were family basically.
Yeah.
So, but I will say I think it's different when it's a. You know what? I'm gonna be quiet because I don't want to sound too. I was gonna say
It's a safe place.
you know females' intentions.
That's good.
I think
Come
you
on.
your intuition.
Talk about
Come
it.
on.
Yeah. So, Jesus.
Come on. You gotta talk about
I'm not
it.
married, so I can't speak on it. So I don't know how I necessarily would react if my husband did have a female best friend. But I will. I'm good at reading people. So I feel like if your
That
intentions are
discernment would
pure,
definitely kick in, and you would pick up on something
But
amiss.
I don't ever want to be that person like she gotta go.
Right.
Because what's going on with me?
Yeah.
That I'm not trusting my husband.
Right.
Or my
Exactly.
boyfriend.
That's good.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Right.
I think we have to.
Self-reflection.
I think that's something that we have to check as well. You see what I'm saying? Where our heart is it jealousy? You know what I mean?
Right.
Insecurities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some. Okay.
So like to tie back into what she said, like when the whole stuff happened with Steph Curry and Aisha Curry and stuff like that.
We did
And
talk about
they
it.
were like basically saying that women don't respect marriages as much as men do.
That's
That
interesting.
That was one of the.
I would
that
say
was
in
one
this
of the,
generation
like,
they don't.
That was like one of the opinions. Like they feel like, okay, she was upset that men weren't trying to holler at her or whatever, and they felt like, okay, well that's because men know
They
you're
respect.
married and they respect it, but then you have women
who
are like,
I
he's
actually
married,
agree with
but
that.
they don't care.
Like,
They don't care.
I
They
actually
make it
agree with
easy
that.
for men.
Yeah, so
be.
like
This is a side
that's
chick
where
society.
with me it gets a little with the new friends because it's like,
what's her intention?
what's your intention?
Side chick society.
It
Now
is,
it's a
it's
side chick
hard.
society. I do agree with that. Seriously, and I'm not even being funny, but it is. It's like a side chick society right now. You find it more acceptable, and you find more women.
It's insane.
Being side chicks nowadays.
It's
just
they're
sad
happy
but
about
true.
it.
And
Right.
they're happy about it. They see boo when they can, and as long as he buying them purses and doing whatever he need to do for them, they good.
I'm too needy. I'm too
Me
territorial.
too, sis. Me too,
Like,
sis.
listen.
Okay,
What
and that's
is
where
mine,
I want to
especially
go.
for entering a marriage.
Yeah.
Tyler, how do you feel about your husband having a female friend? Let's say hypothetically he had a female best friend.
Well, I have a very strong discernment,
Discernment.
so I know if somebody's not right. So it's like
I know that's
not
racist.
so saying like, oh, nobody's right. You can't
Yeah.
have no friends.
Yeah.
Because like, does he come home from work? He works in a hospital.
Yeah.
Full of
women.
He'll
Oh.
come on break and say, oh, like this person said this at work. Da-da-da. I'm not like, what? What do you mean?
You really shouldn't be.
Yeah, but
It's not even about that.
There
Right.
was something that was brought to my attention from him, and
Okay.
he was kind of like, this didn't really sit right with me.
Right.
What
Okay.
do you think? But this was someone who I already felt
Right.
really no boundaries.
Okay.
Gotcha,
So,
gotcha.
Like, I feel like if you and your spouse have like a good
Sorry.
communication, like that's literally
Yes.
what everything ties back into.
Yes.
You guys can communicate and say, hey,
This is what's
this is the
happening.
boundaries that we're going to set for our marriage.
Yeah.
And communicating with the opposite sex.
Yes.
And then this needs to actually be sex.
Right.
This needs to be
I
shared.
actually, I want to hear
good.
from my auntie because she's
Not in this
my
society.
my two aunts back there. They've been married
Because I
for
was married.
these two. My aunts back there been married for a while. I want to hear what they think on this friendships and marriage and how. What y'all think?
Oh,
okay,
Deacon Sam.
Deacon
Okay,
Sam.
go
After
ahead,
Deacon Sam. I
Hold
want
it
to hear
down,
from
Deacon
Niecy
Sam,
and
for the
Tim.
men.
For the men,
Hold
baby.
it down.
My wife got a friend, Mike. When I met my wife, I had 2 female friends, Yana, 2 female friends.
Don't tell
When
Mom
we
that.
see each other now, first thing they give each other respect.
Yes.
Girl, how you put up with him for so many years? But you gotta have
watch
a trust
them.
issue.
Yeah.
Like if they call me out of the blue, hey, but it's Johnny, hey, whoever. Hey, tell her I said, hey, she trusts me, I trust her. But if you got that opposite sex friend and you married and y'all don't trust each other, the marriage gonna fail.
That's where it's a
automatically.
problem. Exactly.
It's gonna fail automatically. So I trust her. Hey, she trusts me, and that's the bottom line. Now, if you got to go through somebody's phone and see who they talking to,
You gonna be that's trust issues within that relationship itself. So we taking it outside of the.
I had a friend that asked me, you
Going
don't have a
through
lock on your
phones.
phone? What?
Right, you better hold on.
Oh, yeah.
What do you lock on my phone for? She trusts me, and I trust her.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should
Right.
That's how it
be.
goes.
That's good.
I want to hear from Niecy and T. What Niecy and T?
Well, to me, it's always trust. You know, it's not.
Yes.
It was never. You know what you doing, how you doing. It was just we set our boundaries and we live with them, and it was just trust. So that's the thing.
Big.
That's it.
That's it.
That is
So we keep
it.
hearing boundaries and understanding
Boundaries and
boundaries.
I'm gonna piggyback off my big sister because I got taught a lot of things from her, and it did come from trust.
Yeah.
But her being the mama type, me being, all I gotta do is look at mine. You already know.
Auntie got that look.
I can see that, Auntie.
Gonna play.
I can see that, Auntie. That look.
It's all about the eye.
Well, we can talk about friendships all day.
We could.
Especially when it comes to opposite
Do's and
sex
don'ts.
gender roles
That's
and
actually gonna
relationships.
be
And
the first episode of season
that
2.
is our first episode of relationships. So stay
Romantic
tuned.
relationships.
Anything further about friendships, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Email us at viewsradioshow@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on your friendships.
Yeah, man.
Come and get it.
So this is the part of the show where we end it and we like to close it out just with some food for thought. Oh, yeah, it's a good topic today.
It's a good
Finish
topic.
everything.
But just to kind of to wrap it up and close it out, even in the Bible, it lets you know how important friendships were to the Lord, and so I think it's a good thing to have friendships, as Kia mentioned earlier. They're good for your health. But like I said, the Bible talks about a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and they were talking about in reference to Jesus.
Right.
And so, like I said, the Bible lets you know just how important friendships really are. So if you are blessed to have them, if you are blessed to nurture them, keep them, because they are good for you. They're good for your soul. Amen. Amen. Good show, ladies.
Good show, guys. Thank you all. Give it up for yourselves. That is it for our episode 6.
Thanks for y'all patience. That was what,
83 minutes.
We was a little long
Okay.
today.
That's all right.
It was a special occasion. We want to thank our live studio audience. He said, the producer needs a raise. Producer needs a raise. We're going to solicit that to customer service. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming out.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We made it, guys. Until next time, y'all. We love y'all.
We love y'all.
Peace.
Your vision, your views. Views from the 6. From the 6. From the 6. From the 6. From the 6.